I immediately got sad when watching this series, and I'll tell you why in a bit. My name's Ruben, and this is my review for Dead Boy Detectives. Let's jump in. Charles Rowland and Edwin Payne decide not to enter the afterlife to stay on Earth and investigate crimes that involve supernatural stuff. So this is set in the world of the Sandman, and comes from one of the creators who's worked on a lot of episodes of the Supernatural series, a bit of Flight Attendant, so you know that he can handle supernatural stuff, excuse the pun, and that all works really well in this series. From the ghosts detectives, which is a unique premise in itself, from the quirky dialogue to the extra third protagonist that ends up being a core part of the series storyline, which I liked a lot. I thought that really worked. Now, the actors themselves that are playing the three main protagonists are George Rextrew, who plays Edward Payne, Jaden Reverie, who plays Charles Rowland, and Cassius Nelson, who plays Crystal Palace, which is a great name for a character. I have been to Crystal Palace a few times in the UK. I lived really close there, and I just thought her name being that and the reason why I thought was really great. The things that work in this series is that quirky dialogue. It works for the banter. It works for you liking the characters as they go through harrowing, quite creepy stuff. It doesn't shy away from being creepy with the supernatural. And I think the VFX and that you get with like the ghosts and demons, I think that all works fairly well, and you kind of like the characters. Although this series reeks of a number of Netflix original series that you kind of really like the characters, but you tentatively don't want to engage too much emotionally in that. And I think I'm at this point now when I watch a series like this that I immediately go, yeah, this is totally going to get cancelled. One, because it's good. Two, because it's a new IP and doesn't have an immediate core value of people jumping in and going, yeah, this is excellent, especially as this is a quirky, weird one. Things like Dirk Gently's holistic detective agency.
The universe will make you a part of this, whether you are complicit or not. You are now a vital part of the investigation.
Lockwood and Co., Warrior Nun.
Born children, they scam religion.
So like a book club.
Lucifer.
I do yoga. Hot yoga.
What did you do to her? Did you roofie her?
Sweet Tooth.
How will I know who's gonna survive?
The Letter to the King.
I meant that in a good way.
Even their massive IPs like The Witcher is now in trouble and will be cancelled within its 5-run series, have a new protagonist exchanged for a different actor, and not to do the run of the story arc that they had of 6 to 8. So there's so many series that Netflix sometimes starts and then just doesn't deliver because they don't give it time to get to that audience that it possibly will garner, that cult following that often a series like this needs. And so immediately upon watching, I was distancing myself from being emotionally engaged too much, because I thought, yeah, I'm enjoying this, and this is the classic Netflix. It's fantasy, quirky drama that some people don't get, and will always have a niche of the geekdom people coming in to love it, especially those that love Sandman. And the look is dark and gritty with that kind of color palette that reeks of ghost greens and blues. That sort of thing is happening throughout this 8 episodes, and I think it even ends well, but I also don't think we'll get any more. I think the pacing of it is quite good as well. There's pretty much action in every episode. They give a lot of banter and expositional dialogue with movement in each episode. Well, you get to know them and you kind of know why they're doing what they're doing. There is a nice couple of different side story arcs that do intertwine. So apart from having that major arc, we do have the episode of the week sort of detective case that they need to solve. And there's a nice kind of completion to each story. And then that intertwines that main arc that we're going through, especially with Crystal's memory sort of issues. That is like a major part of revealing what she has forgotten, and then the big kind of bad that they will be facing towards the end and during some of the subsequent episodes. I think that all works really well, and I just can't help feeling that in a few days time we'll hear Netflix has cancelled this, which is disappointing, because that's how I feel about a lot of Netflix original series, which are much better than their original movies, and has been the case for the last few years. So let me know, did you enjoy this? Are you hoping it's not going to go the way of many others that have been cancelled on Netflix that were actually good or weren't rushed as some others were. Thanks so much for watching this. I'm gonna give it 3.5 Nicolas Cages out of 5.
You got one.
Enjoyed it, but I tentatively distanced myself with it. Just don't expect this to last. A lot of my viewing with Netflix at the moment is kind of have marred my experience because I'm worried that the characters that I come to love won't get their due into becoming perhaps a brilliant series. You know, Supernatural had 15 seasons in the end, and there was a dip in a few of the seasons, but for the most part you really love those characters. If you were in and you managed to get through that first season, you are probably locked in, and that's how I feel about a lot of these kind of supernatural fantasy series. But this one I'm not sure is going to be able to go the distance. So let me know your thoughts and feelings. Thanks so much for watching, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.